I remember that when I was a student, I had this revelation that our lives are each like a puzzle, and it's got many different pieces. And different people are part of different pieces of those puzzle. You must have noticed that certain people have only been in your life for a season, while others are there for a longer period of time. One conversation on a bus or a train or a lounge somewhere with a person you've never seen before actually turn out to be a crucial piece of the puzzle. And then there are other people that are constantly building with you to fill out the whole picture of that puzzle. Sometimes we have the opportunity to be that one that can help put a certain piece in place in someone else's life. And you may never see the full picture, but it's an amazing thing to know that we have a role to play in putting someone's puzzle together. And you never know what could be the thing that plays a role. And sometimes we are very lucky to be part of one of the exciting pieces of the puzzle. Before I labor the metaphor too much, the reason I'm making this little video is to just share a testimony, a praise report that really touched my heart and really got me excited about how God uses everything in our lives for the good of His kingdom, and how we can never see something as one-dimensional or insignificant even, or having just one purpose. And I realized again that 18 years ago I took part in this talent competition called Idols, and I took part in this thing. I was at that time already a Christian and got some flack and criticism from other people in my community, because how can a Christian take part in something called Idols, which is a good question, a fair question. But I just knew deep inside I had to do this. It was part of my story. As tough as some of that backlash was, I entered and never thought I would win, but I did. And I really believe it's because God ordained it to be so. And yes, I had a career after that in English, Afrikaans, commercial music, and in the last couple of years I've shifted gears to do Christian music. But what's amazing to me is to see how that one thing that was seemingly only for my benefit is more and more I'm seeing how that God has a bigger plan with stuff like that. And I want to encourage each and every one of you listening to this that when you know that God has spoken that you must do a certain thing. Maybe it doesn't make sense to everyone around you. Maybe it doesn't even make sense to you. But you need to do this. I want to encourage you to go for it. You've got that piece, go for it. You may never know what is behind it. And I want to share the story with you. Just recently I was at City Hill Church for their carols concerts on the 21st and 22nd of December. And it was an amazing event to be part of. We had a carols night on the Saturday and on the Sunday, and the Sunday morning I got to preach at the church. But something quite interesting happened on the Sunday night. We repeated the same show, but the pastor there, Steve Wimble, asked me to do the altar call in the middle of the carols service, which was an amazing opportunity. And then I got this letter from Pastor Steve just recently with an amazing testimony, and I just wanted to share that with you. This lady wrote to Steve, and he said, I just wanted to share an amazing story with you. My mother-in-law had a very difficult childhood growing up with a very abusive stepmother. She has been very embittered and battles to leave her house for any occasion. Her overall demeanor has been one of negativity and bitterness. She married a committed Catholic but would never put a foot inside a Catholic church. We had tried over the years to get her to the Christmas Day service at City Hill, but it never worked out. During December, she saw the flyers for the carol service hosted by me, Heinz. She immediately asked to go as she loved watching Idols and remembered him singing. We could only make the Sunday night service. I tried to go on the Saturday night but was unable to. We sat up on the balcony and she was blown away by the church and the crowds of people arriving to participate in the carol service. At the end of the service, I suddenly felt a change in the air and realized the presence of God was very strong. as Heinz did the altar call, she jumped to her feet and spoke the prayer out loud. It was her first time in a charismatic church and the first time she has ever said the sinner's prayer. I have been so blessed by the fact that she got to go to church and raised her hand, and at the age of 79 years old, God has a plan for everyone. And that just blessed me so much to know that someone at that age who had never set a foot in church because of the hurts of life, because of something I did 18 years ago that they remembered, went to church and got saved. That is just amazing. And I praise God that He's ordered my steps and He's ordered her steps, and that, both of our puzzles got to the place where we could be a blessing to each other. Because this encourages me again to keep going at what God has called me to do. And her life is changed. And we can know now that she's going to heaven, and that bitterness and that stuff can be lifted off of her life by the power of the cross of Jesus. And I just wanted to encourage you with that. It's encouraged me. I hope it does the same for you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.